Your lineup tonight, what can you tell us about that?
We're going to keep CC out. I think he's definitely the guy that's going to sleep on the ice there, so we want to make sure nothing happens to him before the season starts. And he's played his 3 games that we wanted out of most of our guys. We'll keep Lajoie out because we've seen enough of what we wanted to see with Lajoie, which is very positive. And with the forwards, I'll keep Whitey out because he's played his 3 games and he's done really well, and I don't need to see him. And Mac, Mac has missed a lot, and McCormick, and so we'll give him another game, and he played really well last game, so he doesn't deserve to be taken out. But really, it's more about giving him a game, and Whitey's played his 3 games. And I can announce now that that's the offensive core that we're going to keep. So right now it's more on defense. In terms of the numbers, we keep an 8, so it would give us not 22 but 23. We'll see, but that's what we're looking at right now. We still need a bit of info on defense.
So your roster size can vary then. Possibly,
yeah.
I mean, you would said 22, but
yeah, we said 22. But when you come down to choices that are so hard to make because the guys are playing well, then you got to write it. Hey, when it's positive, write it.
We can write Max Lajoie's name in pen then on the opening roster, or?
It's been very positive for the kid, and I just want to leave it this way. How's that?
Why has he played so much? I think over 23 minutes.
Well, 2 years ago, I really liked him. I thought he was very smart, but he was a kid. He was smaller, and everything was new. He was too young. I think last year he had a terrific camp. Like, even the first year had a really good camp, but I think last year was a terrific camp where there was just too many people ahead of him, and we felt probably like Willandon now, we felt that he had to go down and play the minutes to improve his defensive game because, he was just as smart last year with the puck that he is now, and he had just as much poise, but we felt that he needed to improve his one-on-ones, his physicality, not because he needs to hit guys. That's not that. It's be able to handle the opponent's physicality while you're trying to manage pucks, your one-on-ones. But he's just a really smart player. His gap is terrific. He just reads the play. He's very, very smart. 2 years ago, some people were laughing at me. I said, he reminds me a bit of when I had Vlasic when he was 15 years old. Not the one that you're supposed to be looking at, but the one that's just mistake-free, game in, game out, consistent, very, very smart. It's not flashy. It's just consistently good. And, we know what happened to Vlasic later on, and I don't want to make that, that connection there and people compare it to him. I'm just saying the type of player he is that he's just so smart and consistent in what he does, and I think sending him down the American last year was the right thing because you could see now that he can do a lot better defensively. His stick is terrific defensively. His gap is great, and the physicality right now has not been an issue. So it's just been piling up the positives over the last 2 years, and it's paying off right now.
Yaros, and maybe to a lesser extent, Harper, guys that don't have a lot of NHL experience, but one way or another are going to get an opportunity up here this year. What have you made just the way they've handled things through camp? I know it's half of the job, but
well, they're all different. So I think you want to guard against putting them all in the same pot there and say, well, the guys with less experience. So every single one of them, has a different look that's going to bring us something different. And I think that's where in that puzzle right now we're still evaluating, and we don't know who's going to play with who, to be honest. I mean, because it's you got DeMello coming in as a new player. We know CC's going to be, our guy that's going to log minutes and play against the top guys, and we know Boro can defend. But right now, it's at home it'll be easier to manage, but we got to figure out how to manage the road with that many young guys, with that are lacking experience. Really, they got all these great attributes, and I love them. These guys can be good. That's exciting. It really is. But now, in the short term, is our biggest task is how to figure out how to get these guys, buy time for them, not to get exposed, especially on the road. At home, I think it'll be easier for us to manage that. But once you're on the road, we know the opponent likes to look at what we put on, obviously, and just like I do. And I think right now, it's what the pairs are going to be is going to depend on what we see, you know, from those young guys. Who's going to grow fast enough for us to be able to play against the better players of the opposing team? That's, and I've been honest about it. That's right now why it's taken more time for us to make decisions on defense. We had a really good atmosphere with the players, and they all know that at one minute or the other it can be another guy, and I don't think right now there's been any ego going into any decisions. And to be honest with you, as a coach, it's fun to work with, and the players respect that. Might not be them going on first, might be somebody else. And our top guys like Duchesne and Stone have been terrific that way, and they actually have been helping the rest of the group understand that too. So it's good. In that respect, there's going to be a lot of interchangeables until we really find out, you know, what our best combinations are, whether it's power play, penalty kill, and 5-on-5. But we're working hard at it, and hopefully we figure it out sooner than later.
Just one more sort of on the power play. It's Tkachuk and the way he plays. Is there a line, you know, with his edge where discipline-wise?
Yeah, I know. Last game there was 3 penalties there, but we're expecting that. I mean, that's the thing over the years. You know, those guys who have an edge, well, there's a repercussion to it too. Is that, you know, they have to learn over time to manage that edge. And he's such a smart kid, and I'm not worried at all about him. He's just, we want that edge. We need that edge. It's not just being physical. I'll be honest, there's a little meanness to the player, and it's good. But what I like is that it's mixed with he's very smart. He's smart and gets it. So it's more difficult when you got somebody that, you know, has got those attributes but has trouble, you know, thinking it and emotionally controlling it. Where I don't think this kid's gonna have problems with it. He just needs reps to figure out the NHL. And I'm sure he'll be able to figure it out.
I don't think you've had a chance to speak since the cut down, but with Landon and Schlappick, why decision?
Oh, well, they just like I said, you know, about Lajoie last year and Yaros, they, you know, White, those guys needed to go down and perfect their game before they come out here, because the thing is about the NHL is you want the kids that are ready. And being ready, it really depends on the player. Some players, we feel that, you know, they know how to play defensively. They get all that part, and that's great. They're reliable. But we feel that if they're offensive players, that they might be better in an offensive setting. So that's why they're sent to the American League or back to juniors. Some other guys, it's the opposite. They got great offensive abilities, but they're lacking defensive because there's a bar there. There's that. There's kind of a limit that you need to be at that bar to get on the ice with the NHL players and not get exposed and lose confidence over time. So you're expecting mistakes from your young guys, and you're expecting them to struggle on some things, but especially for defensemen, you know, the defensive part of the game, when they're exposed, it hits them hard with their confidence. So a guy like Wolanin was terrific with the puck, who's really impressed me since he's been here, and everybody knows how much I like him. We feel that he needs a bit more of reps with men in the pro setting, just to get him to be consistent at his defensive game. And from then on, everything is open for this kid. Like he's got it all, I think. So, and then Schlappy is you know, he's competing with some other guys. And you know, he was close, but he's gonna keep being close until he gets passes that threshold and passes somebody. That's more, I think, right now in his situation, is to having to pass somebody in the lineup at that position is where, you know, a kid like White has been with us last year, and you know, as a centerman, we feel that. He can do the job with us now. So Schlappy's got to continue to develop, mostly probably I would say in his defensive zone areas there, where he will be able to do that in the American League. But both of them did really well. Both of them improved from last year, and both of them are close. So that's positive.